Good evening and welcome to Metaphysical Today. It's so good to be talking to you
Hello, hello.
guys. I, you know, this is one of the last shows. Ow! Sorry, Anna is going to be attacking me today. Time for you to go. All right. So, we're almost to the end of the year. I'm Aeson Knight. I'm sitting down with Mia. How are you, darling?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me back on.
Oh, so glad to have you. Hey, Brenda. It is always fun to sit down with you, and it's great that you'll be joining us as a substitute host when Miss Hazel needs off. Or I don't know. I may see if I can get. I don't know. What is 8 plus 6 on the clock? Nah, I'm not having you up at 2 a.m. That's too much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As they say, we'll have you over on the Psychic Coffee Shop, and it's like, nah, Maria doesn't wake up at 2 a.m.
I tell you, getting closer to the new year, I've been having a harder time sleeping. I don't know
It's
if there's so much change going on in the
mhm,
world right now that if um my schedules are really off,
mhm,
and all of the things that are the new year is going to bring for us all
mhm.
is just I think it's just really got me off balance.
Understandable. I mean, we've got a 9 year coming in,
Yes.
and that is ending
And
cycles, closing out books, closing out things.
I have
Um,
to say that I am a 9. That
yeah,
is my number. um,
yeah. So this is going to be your year,
yeah.
you know. So that's all. That'll be good for you. That'll be good for a lot of people because we have a lot of nines in our spheres. Because that's a very metaphysical number. It's one of 369 is one of the what is seen as metaphysical energetical numbers. So there's a lot of that going to be taking up. A lot of old patterns will be ending,
Thank goodness. I
and astrologically, like there's going to be a lot of big things going on, things we haven't seen for 20, 30 years, um, going on in the stars.
Yes, and I think that this shift,
Hmm.
like you said, we haven't seen it for 20 to 30 years, so people have not really prepared
Hmm.
for all of the things that are coming. And a
Right.
lot of people are fearful of the things that they're coming because you get afraid when you don't know what's on the other side of the door.
Right. Well, and that's when, and this is where, like, for me, I tend to go back. Um, and look at, okay, what happened in 1925? Where were things in 1925? Because we tend to repeat the same 100-year cycle, 120-year cycle. Um, and that takes a bit of looking at it and going, wow, that was a busy year. Um, Minus things like stock markets. We're going to need to watch our stock markets. Granted, I can't say more than that, but watch your stock markets.
Well, I think when I think back to 1925,
Hmm.
I think the difference now is that
Hmm.
the youth are
Hmm.
coming full force. They're going into 2025 with their own ideas,
Right.
and the middle-aged and older people
Hmm.
are struggling with
Hmm.
these things because, like, for instance, we're struggling to learn the AI tools. We want to stay
Hmm.
relevant, but
Right.
there's so many changes that are coming forth that we're not exactly sure where we're going to fit in it.
Right.
Now, I have to say that I'm kind of enjoying learning these new tools
Hmm.
and feeling like I'm gaining so much more knowledge. So I don't feel I kind of feel like there's been a time change for me in particular,
It
where I
is.
have, well, we'll see.
It's going to be a major time change for you. It's a major life cycling change for you. Um, AI is a game changer.
Yeah. And again,
In
people are afraid of this.
1925, it was the first television.
I thought it didn't come out until 1950 in the United States.
The first television pictures, John Logan's brand transmitted the first television image in London in 1925.
Okay. Okay. So,
No.
well, coming from the States,
Mm-hmm.
so many things were uh, in our history books was like we created everything. We
Mm-hmm.
created the car. Henry
Mm-hmm.
Ford was the first one to have the first car. And when you travel abroad, you start to find out, well, that wasn't true because in Germany, they had created the first vehicle. They had the
Mm-hmm.
vehicle in 1860s.
Right.
And the thing is that Europe is much older than the
Right.
USA.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people started migrating to the US, they literally believed that everything that they were bringing over from
Mm-hmm.
Europe
Mm-hmm.
was a new idea. They could
Right.
report it as a new idea because
Right.
you didn't really get a lot of news from Europe
To
across
the
the
U.S.
water. Right.
Right. Um,
So,
and not only that, but it's interesting, and I see this all the time in readings. People will come up with a new style, and I'm like, I've seen that before. Let me flip over and check. Oh yeah, Russia's been doing, like, Vladimir Zykov done has been doing that for 20 years. That's his thing.
mhm.
Spoon readings example, um, which is a very old, forgotten art of basic rune reading. They've been doing that forever. I saw up on Facebook, come get this, and I'm like, that ain't no. Will you stop it?
Well, it's true because
Mm-hmm.
literally, like psychics and
Mm-hmm.
mediumship was very popular. Romania, Hungary,
Mm-hmm.
uh, even in Russia, those countries were very much into those occults.
Right.
And I kind of felt like religions came in full force in the States when they started bringing religion to the Native Americans. It
Mm-hmm.
was a way of controlling them. They didn't have a way of communicating effectively in the beginning.
Right.
So you bring religion in and you have these things like guns
Mm-hmm.
and different weapons. And it's a way of just controlling them and making them walk to your drum, beat to you, or beat
Right.
to your drums. You know what
Right.
I'm trying to say? Yeah.
And but they I mean, here's an example. All right, so we have the Europeans coming over to the US, but they're actually taking battle plans from the Greeks and Romans that done it on the Gauls.
Okay. Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay. So we've not learned any new techniques, just better tools. Take away the iron sword, insert a musket, and Julius Caesar and the Spanish conquistadors, you couldn't tell them a difference.
Yes. That's right. You know, and the
And
thing is I'm looking at here we are going into 2025 and things are changing so quickly.
mm-hmm,
People have to prepare themselves, not only uh, emotionally, but physically, mentally. They have to be ready to accept different ideas. And that may be where a lot of people, especially in the US right now, because of the changes that are coming fast for them,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be the thing that they struggle with because
Right.
they don't want to change so much. And I think especially in the first couple of months of 2025, there's going to be huge changes.
I think that we're going to see it, however, globally. It isn't just going to be U.S. I'm looking
This is
for
true.
major changes out of India
Hmm. Yeah.
because there's a whole level of energy building up there. I'm looking at major changes coming out of southern China / Taiwan because
Okay.
there's been a lot of uproaring there. We're going to start hearing about places we don't hear about in the U.S. a lot.
Well, that's the problem, is because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and maybe you can tell me if I'm right.
Right.
I feel like the US has been kind of isolating themselves. And
They
the
have.
people,
They've been doing it since 9/11.
okay. And so they look at everything new that is coming out as a danger.
Yep.
And it's not that these things are a danger to them, it's a source of knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, I think, is always good.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start opening up to learning new things, talking to new people, we're going to be able to accept the changes much easier. If we refuse to do that,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be harder, much harder for us, for all people.
And you're right. And here's the key example. And yeah, whatever. This TikTok ban that's up in debate, left, right, and center. You, my viewpoint, and this is because if I pull up the news here today,
Mhm,
it's probably going to be BS. Okay, let's go. I
mhm.
don't know. Let's go real conservative. Not conservative media. We'll go to CNN.
Okay.
All right. Carter took steps to help millions resettle in America, but it costed him politically. Federal appeals court upholds sexual abuse verdict against Trump. Major incident. China backed hackers breach American Treasury workstations. And then it's Nicole Kidman's new thriller. Um, Movies coming in 2025. Six foods to drink and drinks we lost in 2024. What's your
You
new
know,
shop toys?
what were we talking about before we started the show? How um, the new products that they're coming out with they're
Mm-hmm.
making this to be like, oh, this is the best superfoods. These are the
Mm-hmm.
things that are going to help you so much and keep you
Mm-hmm.
healthy and all of these things. But they're laced with so many things that
Mm-hmm.
hurt people rather than help people.
Right.
And people have just become robots. We have
Yep.
literally just gotten into the commercials. This was something that they started hypnotizing people with in the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
where you hypnotize the children, you get the children to beg for these new toys that they're coming out with, and the
Right.
parents just feel like they have to keep up with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And um, you lose that generation. We started to
Right.
lose our generations at that point. You know what I did
Mm-hmm.
over Christmas, which I thought was so much fun?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Neighbors invited us over for Christmas dinner, and they do not speak any English, which I thought was great
Right.
because I need the opportunity to practice my German. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm living here now. I really want to get to know the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was the same thing that I used to do when I was a young girl. We, at Christmas Day, we had dinner, and then we were pulling out the toys. And I had so many sisters and brothers, so if each one of us
Hmm.
got one gift, we still had
Right.
tons of toys to play with. And that's what they did. We had dinner, and the extended family came over, and we started playing German games. And I
Hmm.
started learning new ways of having fun, but it was just like everybody was family there.
Right.
And it was a very pleasant Christmas because
Hmm.
it wasn't about the new toy that you got,
Hmm.
or going out and showing off your new outfit.
Right.
It was none of that. It was just about enjoying the people in the room.
Right. Well, and we done that. We done a bit of that. We didn't do heavy presents this year. I think everyone got like a present, but it was a usable present.
Hmm.
The other thing is I went and got these hard gift boxes,
Hmm.
and I just filled them with candy and lotto tickets. And we had that was like the best time. It was like, okay, did you win this, that? And I think I'm doing that next year. Like the boys
Yeah,
get whatever they want and need. They have it all. They don't
exactly.
have it. They get it. I have
I
enough inventory in this house for 4 houses.
well, I have to say that I could probably do two myself.
Hmm.
And that's because it's just me and my husband.
Yeah.
So I take over some of his space. I will admit that. But he's
Hmm.
very gracious about it.
Hmm.
What else is he gonna do?
Build you another room.
He's afraid that I will start to take over more room in the house. But I have my secret hiding
Hmm.
spaces.
Uh huh.
So, you know, but I am realizing that I don't enjoy so many new things.
Right.
I mean, who needs another pair of shoes?
Hmm.
I've got I've got the shoes that I wear every day, which are very comfortable. I love them.
Hmm.
Um, I don't need another sweater. I just enjoyed laughing and talking with friends.
Hmm. Now, I will point this out because I know you recently started this lovely walking movement over there.
Yeah.
Get you shoes you just wear for walking. I did not get this because I used to I wear tennis shoes all the time. I hit the gym in my tennis shoes. I do whatever. And my second time with my trainer, he's like, you've been out hiking with these, haven't you? You've been doing, and he's like, I'm like, yeah. He's like, you can't do that. Your feet move differently when you're doing impact movement. And if you're
Okay.
and your body needs that support, that way your knees won't hurt, your back won't hurt because it's setting it. It's the padding, like in our everyday wear, like we're wearing them 4 and 5 hours a day.
Right. Right.
It pushes that cushioning down.
You're right. And I don't not buy the
Uh huh.
things I like, but I've realized that I don't need to do it so much. You
Right.
know, I know that when um 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
every day I when I first came here, I didn't like to just be in the apartment. I wanted to get
Mm-hmm.
out, and so everything was right there where I needed. So I would go out.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy a pair of shoes, or I'd buy a pair of pants, or something like that. But it wasn't
Right.
anything that I needed, and it was a habit that I needed to lose.
Mm-hmm. Well, and but 10 years ago, me and you both were in a different work environment. I had
Yes.
I have a room off of my bedroom that is now the den, but before it used to be my work closet. I had clothes, different suits, different loafers to where at one time I could wear a different suit every work day
Mm-hmm.
and not have to send anything to the cleaners for 3 months.
Well, that was just it, you know. I had that same thing going on. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until like 2 years ago that I started
Mm-hmm.
to decide, hey, I don't need all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One reason was because I was working from home
Mm-hmm.
and remote work was new. I didn't have to get dressed up every day. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in meetings every day. So I could literally sit in
Mm-hmm.
my pajamas and perform what I needed to do. And I was much more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I felt like, wow, the more important things like sending birthday gifts to my grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
those were the things that made me happy and I enjoyed it. Or calling my sisters in the States. Those were
Mm-hmm.
the things I enjoyed those conversations and my mood would change.
Mm-hmm.
I was always someone who just liked to smile, laugh,
Mm-hmm.
play jokes on my friends, have those good conversations. And one thing that I never did was set a New Year's resolution because I saw other people saying, okay, for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose 50 pounds and I'm going to start this program and I'm not going to stop until I reach my goal. And then they would become so depressed within 3 weeks because they've already gone back to a habit that they had before. And so
Mm-hmm.
then they said, oh, forget it. Why even bother?
Right.
And
Well, I'm certain, and I see this every year, and it drives me crazy. New year, new me. Can't wait for 2025. I'm going to work on my weight. I'm going to do, and I'm like, if you aren't changing your habits, you're not going to get a new result.
exactly.
You know, and then the other side of that, like I've got two groups of people on my Facebook. There is the new year, new me people.
Hmm.
Then there are the ones that are like, I'm going to do, and there's 29 goals there. And I'm
Oh,
like, you're going to do
oversetting
a
the
new goal
goals.
every week?
Yeah.
You know,
When I talk to people, I tell them set one goal for the year. And if you achieve one goal within a month or 2 months, great. Then you can set another goal, something
hmm
else that you want to do, but don't overload yourself with all of these goals that you want to achieve at one time
hmm and
because it's setting you up for failure.
it's setting you up for failure. It's setting you up for constantly grinding on one area of your life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's just like doing, bicep curls on one arm.
Okay.
Okay. And that's all you do in the gym is those bicep curls on one arm. You're going to
And
get
you
a
don't realize,
massive arm
yeah,
by the
but
end
you're
of the
out of
year.
balance.
You're out of balance. Now, granted, I know before those fitness trainers start yapping at me in the comments, I know about cross body and muscle alignment and all that. Get out of your textbook and follow along with the analogy. Stop complaining. Holy
I
cow,
see,
so
I see
literal.
that poor one of the viewers is saying that her
Brenda.
system is out of whack.
Oh, yeah, everyone's is.
Yeah. So
Everyone.
don't feel like there's something wrong with you in particular because everybody's system is out of whack. And
Mm-hmm,
it's literally because the shift is coming.
mm-hmm,
We've got to be open to changes
mm-hmm,
because even if it seems like it's a really negative change that's coming our way, there's something positive we're supposed to be learning from it.
well, not only that, but even though it may feel negative, it will. There's a pendulum of time. We
Yes.
go from one extreme to another. Right now,
Mhm.
we're seeing a lot of it swinging heavy right.
Yes.
We will see swings back to heavy left. We will see high inflation to low inflation, high pay scale to low pay scale.
Mhm.
Expense, like everything is vibration.
Yeah, and the thing is that when we're in that negative state, we
Mm-hmm.
got to recognize it that, okay, how I'm feeling down today. How do I just reach for a little bit of a higher state of mind? Not
Mm-hmm.
to jump into, you're
Right.
not going to make that jump from negative to positive like that. I mean, little things can
Mm-hmm.
help you along the way. If
Mm-hmm.
you're finding that, hey, grocery prices are going up everywhere in the world. It's not just in your community. So get with a couple of friends
Mm-hmm.
and each of you prepare a meal that will feed your group for
Mm-hmm.
each night.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can, you can come up with ideas like a rice and chicken or rice and vegetable dishes. These do not have to be expensive dishes, but it's going back to the mentality of providing for your family without
Mm-hmm.
going broke.
Right.
And
Well,
you'll find that in those moments when you are getting with other people who are like-minded, it's the friendship or the conversations that you're having that will get you out of that negative state more than the prices of food.
well, the prices of food right now are astronomical. They're insane.
They are.
However, it causes you to look at things differently. And what I mean by that is like some of the things I do, and people are, when I post dinners, they're like, "Oh my god, that looks so expensive." I'm like, "That's a $10 meal,"
Yes.
and they're like, "What do you mean?" Well, the salmon is, I got on markdown for $1.50, or €2.
Hmm.
The onions, I got the onions out of this veggie bowl that he marked down for like four, and we got like yesterday, I spent $250, and I've been like, I want a $50 a week budget.
Okay.
And I'm fussing at my husband, like, we spent way too much, and he's like, "Do you realize you just grocery shop for at least 3 weeks to 4 weeks on these items?"
Okay.
And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you went and bought $100 worth of meat," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "And you just broke that down to like 15 packages," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "And you cook one protein a day?" Yeah, most days. Sometimes it's a protein and and it lasts another 2 days. And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's at least 2 to 5 weeks worth of groceries. Who knows with you? Plus what you got stocked up." But it's that mentality of chop. I call it chop kitchen, and it's like, what can I do? How can I do
Hmm.
it? What can I rediscover? Um, and figuring out different combos and different things you can do. We get stuck in, and a lot of people are stuck in this. If it doesn't have microwave directions, if it doesn't go in the oven, I don't know how to make it. And it's like you're throwing, if you're cooking fresh vegetables, you're throwing out about 7 or 8 pots of stew a week.
Right. Right. But okay, that is one thing that is literally great about the winter months
Mhm.
because I am a big fan of tomato soup. You give me a bowl of tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich, and I am a happy camper.
Mhm.
And literally, you can get a package of cheese for $1.30 here that has 8 slices in it. And I'm not a big eater. So
Mhm.
one grilled cheese sandwich is enough for me. I don't eat a lot of bread. So 2 slices of bread on the grilled cheese, I'm happy. I prefer just a half a bowl of soup and
Mhm.
I sleep well.
Well,
And
I want you, since you see both worlds, Will you please tell Americans what the problem is with their portions?
Oh my God. Do you mean the bowls that are overflowing the plate, the food that's overflowing the plate? Or are your portions getting smaller now?
No.
But the prices are going up.
No, honey, they've gotten larger.
Well, I will say that when I was there in September, I always, my friends were always taking me out to dinner, and even when I bought just a sandwich, it was so much for me. I ate half of it, and then I could have half for dinner. It was just too much. I never left a restaurant without a to-go box. And to me, I fill up quickly. But when I would have meals with my son, it was the same thing with him. You could buy a sub, and the subs were just filled with everything possible. And you just could not eat it all in one setting. And it's really made to cause people to get addicted to those things, to feel like they have to finish at every meal. And I have to say that is also something that was drilled into us years ago, because it was always clean your plate. Don't leave anything.
Plate club. Don't waste. Children in China are starving for that.
Yes.
That is the cycle I'm working to break this year. All right, guys, let's take a break. And then when we get back, we're going to dig a little bit into goal systems, because that's the other thing filling up my Instagram, and I'm sure yours too. Because if you're a life coach, we get targeted with take this class, take this, do this, and we'll talk about some of this.
Exactly. Okay, great.
Love diving into metaphysical topics, psychic insights, and lively discussions. Now you can help keep the conversation going. By becoming a Patreon supporter of The Psychic Coffee Shop, you'll gain access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and special perks just for our patrons. Join our community and ensure that your favorite psychic show continues to thrive. Your support helps us bring more enlightening episodes, special guests, and deep dives into the world of the unseen. Become a patron today and enjoy a cup of wisdom with us every week. Click the link to join the baristas and unlock exclusive content. Thank you for your support.
Unlock your full potential with Aeson Knight's life coaching. Are you ready to take control of your life and manifest the future you deserve? Aeson Knight, a seasoned life coach and master psychic, is here to guide you on a transformative journey. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, career transitions, or seeking spiritual growth, Aeson's life coaching services offer tailored guidance to help you achieve your goals. With Aeson by your side, you'll discover the tools to overcome obstacles, embrace your true self, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. His unique blend of spiritual insight and practical coaching empowers you to turn your dreams into reality. Ready to make a change? Book your session today and start your journey to a more empowered, balanced, and joyful life with Aeson Knight. Click the link to schedule your first session and step into your power.
Are you ready for an electrifying podcast experience that keeps you coming back for more? Join Aeson Knight every week as he takes you on a journey through captivating shows, each exploring unique and fascinating topics. And here's the best part. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode where you can get your burning questions answered live on air, absolutely free. Whether it's relationship advice, career guidance, or mystical insights, Aeson's podcasts have got you covered. When you subscribe, you become part of a vibrant community, engaging directly with Aeson as he shares his wisdom and leaves you feeling empowered and enlightened. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. What you'll get by subscribing: Monday 5 p.m. Metaphysics Today, Soulful Conversations with Aeson Knight and Firefly, exploring the essence of metaphysics in today's world. Tuesday 8 p.m. The Psychic Coffee Shop, dive into current events with a psychic twist, featuring special guests and thought-provoking discussions. Friday 9 p.m. The Mountain Bears Podcast, lively discussions from a gayish, techie-ish, bearish perspective with Aeson and Joe. Sunday 5 p.m., Psychic That Plans. Get a weekly tarot energy overview and time management tips from Aeson Knight. Click here to subscribe now and never miss an episode. By subscribing, you're not just tuning in, you're joining a community of curious minds and ensuring you're always in the loop with Aeson's insightful and interactive shows. Don't wait. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for an amazing podcast journey.
Ready for an enchanting journey of self-discovery? Join Lord Aeson Knight in our Wicca courses. Unveil the secrets of Wicca. Explore deity relationships, rituals, and more. As a third-degree high priest, Aeson Knight guides you toward empowerment and enlightenment. Enroll today and take your first step into the magical circle. Click the link to begin your journey.
Psychic Saturday. Get 50% off with Aeson Knight every third Saturday of the month. Don't miss out. Book now.
All right. Oh, welcome back. All right, so let's talk goals and goal systems. There's a lot of them out there. There's the 8 facets of your life. There's Moxie Life. There's HB90. There's the 12-week year. All of them. But I think all of them have too many goal spots. Like setting 8 annual goals for, the 8 parts of your life.
Yes.
They've got work and learning and spirituality. If I get any more spiritual, I'm going to be levitating or running a cult. One of the two.
Are you saying that levitating isn't fun?
Oh, levitation is fun. I just don't feel like, going to Tibet and going up into the Alps and getting colder than what it is.
Literally, you're right that setting 8 goals is just too much. And I never encourage my clients to set more than 2 in the beginning. And I really encourage them to give some deep thought to the goals that they want to set.
Right. I say 5 because I like to cover the 5 elements and the 5 uses of the elements there. An earth goal is a financial goal, or a work goal, something physical.
Okay.
An air goal is something creative.
Okay.
A water goal is something emotional, some emotional growth there.
Okay.
A fire goal is something for your health, and it needs to be very broad and not number based. We aren't going to say that you're going to get down to 52 kilos. We're going to say that's too specific. That's going to draw you into instant failure. But getting your health into a routine.
That's important. And what I find is that if you focus on your health or your emotional well-being, then your physical well-being is very much connected to that. So those 2 goals right there are hitting important things that you really need to focus on. And I figure, my feeling is that once you have your emotional and physical well-being in check, then the rest falls behind it. You are able then to go on and set another 2 goals. I don't like for it to be a long time period between goal setting, because you can achieve the goals in a quick time, especially if you start emotionally and work with the physical together.
Right. And they do coalesce very quickly together.
Yes.
Okay. And with annual goals, you want to make them broad as a barn side.
Yeah, right.
I want to get my health into order. That's it. Then you do your quarterly, because you want to take those 5 goals, you want to break them down to quarters. So maybe your first goal is walking 3 times a week. That's it.
There you go. Yeah. And don't put so much emphasis on if you only get to walk twice a week. Okay,
Exactly.
but you
That's
still got that.
encouragement.
Yes, you know, it be inspiring to yourself, encouraging to
Mm-hmm.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because every step is an achievement. You
Right.
need to feel good about it. Hey, next week maybe you'll get 4 walks in.
Right.
Who knows? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but don't the more you emotionally
Mm-hmm.
move forward, your physical will follow
Mm-hmm.
so quickly in line
Mm-hmm. Right.
that it you'll then be able to focus on, okay, financially, what do I need to do to improve financially? Hey, emotionally, I know that things are changing very rapidly,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I need to take some extra courses. And instead of bogging yourself down with these courses that you have to take from 9 to 5 at a university or a community college or something like that, take some online courses, do some YouTube courses that are
Mm-hmm.
free,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets you started on the
Right.
path.
But that connection to financial ties into that emotional so heavy, it's ridiculous. Because our relationship with money is one of those seeded relationships. And what I mean by that is that relationship with money can tackle the most powerful emotions out there.
Yes.
Love,
Yeah.
relationships. Y'all guys want to talk about, everyone hears, oh, cheating's the no, no, no. I will guarantee you, if you and your partner are not on the same page financially, you will divorce them.
Exactly. Because if one is making more money than the other and they
Mm-hmm.
hold it over that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
then the other partner is going to feel less than.
Don't
And
even have
they
to hold
will.
it over. Don't even have to hold it over. Especially in the male female dynamic.
Mhm.
Okay. And the female's the powerhouse of the relationship. I will guarantee you he will act like a madman if you get a larger raise than he does. He will start doing
Absolutely.
stupid shit to piss you off.
You know what? I have to say that that was our generation. That's
Uh huh.
literally our generation. Um, I do think that the younger generation is changing that BS. And I mean, belief system. They're changing the fact that they're supportive of their spouse.
Mm
And um, as you the funny thing is, I think,
hmm. Mm hmm.
that is causing so many of these changes is that everybody is not so focused on their born gender.
Uh huh. Very
It's
much so.
not.
And you got to understand those combinations. But also the born gender versus the expressed gender versus the internal gender.
Mhm.
They haven't even gotten to yet. Even the Zads are still figuring it out. But that bioprogramming for the cis straight white males hasn't been updated to 1972.
Okay.
Promise you it hasn't. You start pounding that dude with text messages every day, and he's taking the lead, and I'll see you at 5 on Friday and all this. He will head for the damn hills. I don't care if he's 19 or 99.
You know, I honestly see it a little bit different. Maybe it's
Okay.
because of here in Europe, because I agree that some relationships do end because of that, because they
Mm-hmm.
feel like they have no space of their own
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Mm-hmm.
constantly being watched, or they have to constantly uh, support the other person emotionally. That
Mm-hmm.
becomes a drain on the relationship. But I see now that because of social media and
Mm-hmm.
video games and AI tools and things like that, that this younger generation is more into that. They would
Mm-hmm.
rather have everything scheduled out for them and a message saying, hey, where are you? what are you doing right now? As opposed to just doing the things that they know they're supposed to be doing and getting through their day. I almost see, especially with the women, and I hate to single them out, but I feel like the women are taking more control over the calendars, the contacts of their significant other.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And ladies, I will point this out to you, and I want you to go look at your man's hands. I'm going to cut down probably my call volume by half of my Gen Z, the 18 to 25-year-olds. Look at your man's hands. If he's got fat fingers, stop caring about what he likes on Facebook, YouTube, and every damn thing else. I promise you, because they've built that app for his fat thumb as he's scrolling to hit those likes.
I have to agree with you. It's sad. It's so
It's true.
sad. And I think that was actually one of the things that I enjoyed most about our Christmas dinner was that no one had a phone out. Everybody was talking to everybody in the room. And even when I called my family in the States, well, of course, because I called them, they were on the phone. But I felt like, well, we're not spending enough time being present in the moment.
And that's my spiritual thing this year is to be present in the moment. That's my spiritual goal this year. I'm just going to be present in the moment. You know, do the things that excite me. If they stop exciting me, they'll go bye-bye.
Exactly.
You know, because I'm tired, you know, for my personal journey, I'm tired of doing the things that are expected.
You know, I can honestly say that I always enjoyed not doing the things that were expected of me. I enjoyed being a spur of the moment kind of person. And I think it has always been a part of my my personality that I was always up to try something new, do something different, and enjoy being in the moment. And I knew that things were always going to change down the road, that there was going to be something different. But I always felt like, okay, well, different is not necessarily bad. And I think the more people start to recognize that, hey, what's coming doesn't have to be bad. It just means that if I am open to the new ideas, I may get something out of it that I enjoy. And if I don't, be like Aeson, just let it go and go in a different direction.
Right.
There is never any time where you can't say, okay, this doesn't suit me anymore, so let me go in a different direction.
Or, oop, that's cute, I'm gone. Or, I'm tired of this, I'm gone. Here's the resignation. Oh, you don't see that video this week because I don't have time. Not, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I got to do this instead of that. Or, you know, those things have got to change. And those things are got to change because, you know, I'm hitting a 9-year this year. And you know, 9 years are very much controlled by Pluto. They're very much about what dies.
Okay, and explain a little bit more to me about that because I'm not so familiar with astrology.
Okay, Pluto is the planet of transformation, the planet of death. When you look at Pluto in general, it's a very recreate planet. You know, when Pluto's high in your chart, you're going to be constantly going through cycles of change. You know, like, I just built a house and I just got the best job in the life, so now I have to go build another house. That's a Pluto moment. That's a transformation moment. That's that Phoenix rising moment, that hidden undercurrent coming out. So Pluto and the 9 year together is kind of like, all right, let's start creating change everywhere. What do you want? What do you want to perfect to? What do you want to transform to? What do if you're a Pokemon, what Pokemon are you evolving
Okay.
to? Okay.
Okay.
So nines are really great to be making changes, of finding your happiness, of going, you know what, I'm tired of that. Bye-bye.
That's what I'm enjoying about being a 9 and going
Uh-huh.
into a 9 year.
Right.
Because I know I've got a lot of changes coming for me, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about finding out what they all are going to be. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
like every day I'm waking up and there's another Christmas present underneath the tree. Okay. Or I'm coming up with a new idea and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, I never knew I could do that.
Right.
And and it is the new beginnings.
Exactly. And it's a new structure. It's a new refocusing of things. Um, and it is about new beginnings, but you can have new, like, if we look at it, every year I get at least 3 New Years. There's the
Okay.
Georgian calendar New Year that everyone else does.
Hmm.
Then we have the astrological New Year that happens in March.
Okay.
And then we have the Samhain, aka Halloween New Year, that works on the Wiccan calendar. So that's 3 New Years. And there's
Okay.
probably a few more other ones in there when you start digging into everything and all the calendars that we go through. So using that to your ability, you can have a new year anytime you want. You're going to have anniversaries that come up, and that's the new year, because that's all it is a agreed point to start a new anniversary.
Wow. I never looked at it like that before, but that's a great way to look at it, you
Uh-huh.
know, because I like new beginnings.
Mm-hmm. And
I
new
like the
structures.
fresh starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that a lot of people are starting the new year uh, faced with finding a new job.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be fun.
And it's happening for a reason. It's happening because maybe you were too comfortable in the
Mm-hmm.
position you were before, or maybe you were just accepting everything as
Mm-hmm.
it was because um, you thought you had to be the responsible one, and
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether you were happy in what you were doing or not. And I
Mm-hmm.
find that that's not living life.
Well,
It's
not only not
existing.
living life, but if you've been in a job, and economics friend of mine said, well, because I just done like 20 years with a company, and he's like, you ain't moved positions. Nope, I'm an independent contractor. I can move what I want. You ain't created anything new. You need a new job. And I'm like, I have 14. And he's like, yeah, but your resume is going to look so stale that you haven't progressed past the vendor. And I'm like, and? He's like,
It's
people are
about,
changing jobs every 3 years. Think
oh
about that,
my,
Maria.
yes.
My father retired twice, 20 years at each place, but you had to be at 20 years before you could even look at changing positions.
Well, my father worked for a company for 40 years and
Mm-hmm.
retired. And actually, he had put in his retirement papers and he died before he could officially retire.
That's insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, all of his life was spent working. Now, my dad did enjoy his family. He did enjoy his weekends, and he made um, his family a priority. But
Mm-hmm.
because he made his family a priority, he worked himself to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I see, but you see that happening every day with people working so hard to provide for the things that they believe their family want, and not
Mm-hmm.
focusing so much on what the family needs.
Mm-hmm.
And we as a society
Mm-hmm.
have set those goals for ourselves only to keep up with the next person, keep up with the Joneses.
Not really the Joneses. What we think of the Joneses.
That's correct.
Okay. You don't really know what the Joneses are doing. I mean, let's look at the richest family ever, the Vanderbilts.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say the
That
Rothschilds,
line
but
is, huh?
I was.
Rothschilds were not richer than the Vanderbilts. The Rothschilds, however, were bigger investors. The Vanderbilts had more liquid. The
Okay.
Rothschilds have more things in their name. There's a
Okay.
difference.
Okay.
But if we look at the Vanderbilts, they're down to Anderson Cooper. And we're
Yeah.
talking about a family that was like 32 people with an irrevocable lifetime trust for 5 generations by the time they died. Every one of them were very unhappy. The amount of um, choice exits that occurred in that family, the amount of heart attacks that occurred in that family is unreal. But
And
everybody was trying to keep up with them. New mansion, big mansion, big mansion, big mansion, bigger mansion.
mhm. Well, you look at what's going on now with those who are fighting to be number one uh, in the world, to be
Mm-hmm.
the richest person in the world, and they can't spend all of the money that they have, and they step on people who are working for them,
Mm-hmm.
helping them build their
Right.
riches. So, what kind of life are they actually living? You're right about the Vanderbilts. I mean, there was so much emotional damage done to these people because they were always afraid that somebody was going to take what they had, or that
Mm-hmm.
somebody would wanted to marry them because of what they had. They
Mm-hmm.
never could have a true relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and they never could be themselves.
Right.
They couldn't.
But if you switch around and you look at Warren Buffett, one of the
Mhm.
richest, real rich men, look at his life. He gets up, he gets dressed in the same suit he's had probably for 20 years. He drives a 20-year-old car to
He drives
McDonald's.
himself. Yes.
He drives himself. He has never gotten into, well, I've got $1 billion, so I need to go buy $1 billion house. I think he lives in the same house that he's had since like 1970, 1984, 1979, somewhere during there. It's an upper scale house. I mean, they have a master bathroom, but it ain't got any of the techie stuff. It isn't a new build. It isn't more than him and his wife need.
Exactly. And they don't
I
have
think,
maids
right.
and all
No,
of those things
I think they have a
because,
housekeeper that they've had for like 20 years.
and many of the middle um, income families have people coming in to clean their houses. These cleaning services have grown astronomically because it's a two working parent home, and
Or
so
three.
they or three, and they need extra help.
Mhm.
Uh, and I mean, when we were growing up, there was a house full of children. Everybody had a
Mhm.
job. My
Mhm.
mom didn't work because her job was taking care of all of those children in the house.
Right. Well, up until about 1910, it was standard for most medium. Like this was the divide between the medium class and the poor.
Yes.
Was if you had a housekeeper. And we're not talking someone that shows up at 7 a.m. every morning to make your breakfast. We're talking about someone that comes in and does the domestic side of things so that you could either deal with the children, run your
Mhm.
businesses, or that type of thing. Those were standards up until World War II.
And then the women had to come out in force and help the U.S. continue to grow, to provide, do the jobs that the military men were doing before.
Right. And the domestic staff got pulled into that. And then when we came back, we were in baby boomer era, and it had been so long that then they republished, and they started this idea when they got women to come to work. Okay. That she could be the baker, the cooker, the mom, and this.
Yes.
They began that programming of the media. And because they needed a domestic staff, she could do it all.
Yeah.
And that laid in our brains forever.
And then it also, Hollywood played a huge role in this. And it made us start focusing on different goals. It was all about being famous. And you could be a millionaire and be famous. But a lot of those people in the 1920s up to the 1960s, they were earning a regular salary. They were not earning millions of dollars for doing 1 month of shooting films.
Right.
But our mentality changed.
$650 a week when she was at Warner Brothers. And she raised the family on that. And that was high class money at that time.
Exactly.
When the average worker was earning about $50 a week.
Yes.
But the other thing they did was they put out June Cleaver.
Yes.
They put out, the perfect mother, the perfect this, the perfect that, and started imprinting that into the brains.
Yes. Fathers knows best.
Exactly.
When the mom was really the one who was running the family.
Yeah.
The father was out
been
working.
The CEO of Domestic Affairs.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that's something we're going to see a return of. Not only pride in being the domestic help or the domestic staff, but pride that you have domestic staff. It's like every entrepreneur I set and coach. A lot of coaches will tell you the first thing you do when you make enough money is you hire a personal assistant or you hire an assistant. That's the first employee you should hire. I so foundationally disagree.
And why is that?
The first person you hire is a housekeeper. And here is why. On average, a standard house with 2 adults in it. We're not counting mini humans. We're just talking 2 adults. That housekeeping is a 9 to 20-hour job.
Yes.
If you can outlet that job, even if it's on flex work. What I mean by flex work is maybe they're not doing the whole 20-hour week. Maybe they're only there 4 hours a day. 4 hours a week. That will alleviate and allow you to become more productive and put 4 to 20 hours into your business more a week.
Oh, that's interesting thought. This goes into goal setting. I still encourage my clients to, before they set those goals, to do some deep meditation. Clear your thoughts about what it is you really want to work towards. And having that extra time to focus on your business, it alleviates a lot of stress out of people's lives. And especially when they get that goal in their mind of what path they want to take. It's amazing. It's like I said before, it's amazing when I try something new and I'm amazed at how much I learn. I may not get it immediately, but learning the new thing encourages me to keep moving forward. And that's what you want to do when you're setting your goals.
Right. My next step for that is take inventory. Where are you? Where are you? And I don't mean on that like, well, I'm at home. No, where are you? Where are you on your weight? If you want to get your health in order, where's your weight, your BP, your carb intake at? If you want to build on your finances, what's your liquid net debt? What does that mean? Is if tomorrow you had to cash out everything you have and you had to pay off all your creditors, we're going to do a bankruptcy scenario here.
Okay.
How much would you have left over? Where is that money going to? Are you exhausting money into stuff that doesn't matter to you?
Exactly.
Here's an example. I own a Sims. I run a Sims. I DJ. I spend about $400 a month on that. But you know what? That's my stress relief. Okay. However, some people would look at me and go, why are you wasting that money? And it's like, no. You go to the movies, you buy these oils that, you're in Scentsy, you're in this, you're in that.
Yes.
You spend your and that is the largest thing is disposable income.
Yes.
What I mean by disposable is what income do you spend that is not required?
Right.
Okay. So take a hard look at your finances, know exactly where that money's going. That way you can gauge and go, do I really need to have Stitch subscription and, a cable subscription and Netflix and Hulu and this, that, and another? Am I even using those?
Exactly. That goes back to me with all of me, the shoes and the clothes and the handbags. Because I was working, and so I needed to dress appropriately and things like that. But once I realized that, hey, I'm not using those things anymore. I'm not wearing all of those clothes. Why am I buying new clothes? Do I need that? Do I want that? No, but I got into a habit of going shopping and spending money on things that I didn't necessarily need. Those are the things you can focus on and say, well, that's not what I want. And it's putting me in a bad position. If I save that money, even if you go out and you save the money that you spend on coffee every day, now coffee can run as much as $5 a cup, and you buy 1 cup a day, that's $25 in a week that you could have used to go to the electric bill.
Well, we're not talking dire straight budgeting. We're not talking what I call just the essentials. We're talking about looking at the other spending you do and what your essential is, not what your coach's essential, not what this person on YouTube's essentials are. What are your essentials?
Right.
My essentials, people, would, look at my budget and go, oh my God, you dropped $200, you dropped, $2,000 on this network. And just looking, because they don't see the income. Right. All they see is the bills. And they, like my mom and me, we were going through budgets because we're setting up budgets for 2025. And she's like, oh my God, you're dropping $5,000 a month on advertisement alone. And it's like, yeah, I am dropping about $5,000 a month on advertising and podcasting and this and that. But that's because this is part of this, and this. And then what annoys me is then you have coaches going online and they'll, if you're going to be in business, you got to drop $5. No,
that's correct. You don't have to do that.
Right.
Like I said, even you decide you want to learn how to do podcasting, or you want to learn how to do graphics or create commercials or do advertising. Start small. Take some courses, take some free courses, learn how to do these things.
YouTube
Practice.
University is a wonderful thing.
Exactly. And just practice. Take that time. And the important thing is that if you're not enjoying what you're learning, stop
Get out of it.
Right. And go to something else that you enjoy doing. Don't learn accounting if you hate working with numbers.
I will give you 2 exclusions for that.
Okay.
Exclusion number 1, you are not a bi-weekly paycheck earner. You are not an employee. If you
Right.
have a class other than employee, you got to know accounting.
Well, yes, but
And,
you got to
when
know.
I'm talking about that, if you're an Uber driver, if you're
Mhm.
an Uber Eats driver, if you have a side business, you have to know accounting. You need to know all of the accounting principles of basic accounting. Yes, it is boring as hell to be a psychic and to want to be on this higher spiritual level, but to not understand your per minute rate maximized by your average point of call and the cost of your computer are tied together.
That is true, but that's not what I meant when I'm saying
Okay.
don't take courses in accounting if you only because you think that becoming an accountant
Uh-huh.
is going to earn you more money. If you
Right.
hate accounting, don't become an accountant.
Right.
But you do need to know the basics of accounting especially if you're your own boss and you're running your own business. Yes, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't want somebody else in control of your money,
Mm-hmm.
your numbers.
Well,
So yes, you do need to know accounting, but you don't,
mm-hmm.
if you hate working with numbers, don't get a job being an accountant and doing numbers all day for somebody else.
Exactly. But people do not, and I think that this is a new trend, especially with the boom of Uber Eats and Postmate and all these other services, and all these other things. And they don't think, they literally do not, and I had a client, they were working 95 hours a week
Mhm.
and weren't able to pay their mortgage.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And I am like, how much are you charging per minute? Well, 268. Why are you charging that amount of money? And I'm expecting a formula. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's what my manager told me to charge. Do you understand the math behind? That'll get me more business. That'll get new clients to me. Okay. How old's your computer? How old's your phone? How old's your car? How old's your power equipment? How old is all this? And she was just like, I don't know. I don't know about and I'm like, one, not just up your price, but get your real price number. What I mean by that is get the real dollar you have to earn and cut half these hours because you're going to kill yourself.
Okay. 95 hours a week is a bit much.
Yeah. Now that's a
Okay.
lot of time, not talk time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. But she was like, I don't like numbers. And I'm like, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to take control of your finances.
Mm-hmm.
So
And even if you are an employee, if you are driving to work an hour a day,
Mhm.
granted they may pay you a little bit more an hour because it's a bigger area. You're driving home an hour a day. You're doing 20 to 30 hours of overtime. You're actually paying to work there.
Yeah. That's sad. That is so sad.
Uh-huh.
And but the thing is that once people recognize that, they
Mm-hmm.
have the opportunity to change it.
Right. And that's why they've got to take inventory after they take this deep thought of what they got. You
Yeah.
got to then turn around and take inventory.
Yeah.
All the inventory. And when I say inventory, I mean, looking at your closet.
Mhm.
We're talking about having a lot of clothes and a lot of shoes. Okay. What do you actually need in there? Well, you've got 3 sizes that you haven't fit into in a decade. Why are you keeping those?
Exactly.
You've
That
got this
was
shirt that makes you itchy that you never wear, but it was on sale. You got it for $1. Get it out
okay.
of your
Yes.
damn closet.
You found that shirt. No, but that was literally what I had to mentally change.
Mm-hmm.
I had to mentally take inventory and say, hey, you are wasting so much of your time focusing on things that stress you out more than give you pleasure.
And give you joy. Now, the other thing is, and I do this to men more than women, but I'll tell women to do this same time, because men are all about comfort in their shoes, and they'll have 20, 30 pairs of shoes. I will tell them to find one pair of shoes that's the most damn comfortable things they ever wear. I have ballet shoes. They are flats. They are black shoes. They, like, after about an hour and a half, I'm a fucking pain in the ass. I keep those for when I either have to go to a board meeting or a meeting I don't want to be in.
Okay.
Or I have to go to the bank and deal with finances, because I hate both of those things.
But okay, so I would have to tell you that the ballet shoes are not the best thing for you.
No, I'm not buying a closet of them.
But it is putting you in a position where you are stressful. You eventually become stressful, and that's a waste of time.
Right, but I only wear those when I'm wasting time. Like if I have to go and do a mortgage application, I have to go and terminate an employee. The things that I don't want to be there to do. That is when you get the ballet shoes, the Aeson suit, the heavy rings. It is like, you're going to be here, but we're going to make this quick, because we know psychologically, you're going to get in there, get it done, and out the door.
Okay. So you're not wasting too much time.
No. And, and I learned this from an old boss of mine. She was a DON. And I noticed that every time that she had to have meetings with the owners and the administration, she would come in this purple suit. Okay. It was a very tailored, form-fitting purple suit, beautiful blouse. I thought it was a gorgeous suit till I touched it, and it was wool. Some big brand wool, annoying wool. She wore, she was a little woman. She was only maybe about 5'2".
Okay.
She wore purple spiked heels.
So she came in ready to take care of business and get out of there.
She came in and she was a fucking dragon. I've seen her tell an administrator he can take it and shove it up his fucking ass. Without missing a beat, she snapped to it like Maria Priestley level is how she was that 2 to 4 hours she was in the building.
Okay.
And she was out. And I'm like, okay. And we were talking one midnight shift because I am like stuck dealing with some CNAs that wouldn't do their job. And she's like, you always wear your standard scrub uniform, don't you? She's like, tomorrow night I want you to wear your graduation uniform. She knew the school I graduated from. The graduation uniform I got, hat and all, was like from the 1970s. And men's nursing uniforms were not built to perform in the 1970s. It was built it was very form-fitting, very structured. The shoes that are comfortable. I don't know who the hell thought those loafers were freaking comfortable. She's like, wear that tomorrow night and let's see how many write-ups they get. Because she had gotten tired of my midnight shift acting the way they were. And I was like, what are you talking about? She says, the more uncomfortable you make yourself, the more uncomfortable the people you deal with will be.
I find that interesting because What do you see with the younger people, the way that they present themselves in a company today? How do you see that?
I had a real hard time adjusting to that. And what I mean by that is, I am not into corporate BS.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're fucking, I'm looking at, well, you screwed that pooch, now let's unscrew it. And they're like, oh, well, we'll work past that. Hi, sorry to bother you. And I'm like, sorry to bother me.
Oh gosh, yes.
Okay. And then they start this, well, you know, we have this situation. What situation? Well, this and this is going on. Okay. So what do you plan on doing? Well, I'm going to ask Jeff, and Jeff is going to send it to marketing, and marketing is going to send it to legal, and legal is going to send it back to marketing. Marketing will send it to me. Knock it off. What do you? And I have this problem with my host in the club, with my
Oh gosh.
DJs in the club,
Mm-hmm.
is I've had to empower. I'm having to teach them empowerment, ownership of things, and we're talking simple things
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
someone in the club that's being a problem. Bounce them.
Right.
Well, I've got to ask all three of the owners. No, you don't. Bounce them.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that in their clothing too, because they're coming to work in stretchy pants. And I'm not talking 80s stretchy pants. I'm talking things that I would look at as pajamas.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're either wearing the company shirt or they're wearing clothes that don't really give them the energy they need, especially like a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in, we're shopping for living room suits. And I'm used to a certain level of salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
So, fine, I'm entertaining the husband. He wants to go look at this new store. And I walk in, and they're in jeans and t shirts and tennis shoes. And the t shirts have the company name on it. And I'm like, okay, this isn't Burger King.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm looking for, how can I help you? I'm looking for living room suits. Well, we've got these sectionals over here. They're really comfortable. And she goes over, she bounces up and down one of the sectionals. And I'm like, do you not see my husband?
Okay.
I'm like, honey, you need to go sell cars because you can't sell furniture.
It's scary.
Uh-huh.
It is very scary. I
Mm-hmm.
used to be the youth minister at my
Mm-hmm.
church.
Mm-hmm.
And often I was running from work and going straight to the center so that I could lead the groups in whatever
Mm-hmm.
activity we were doing. And I would come in heels
Mm-hmm.
and my pantsuits or a skirt, and
Mm-hmm.
all of the young girls would say to me, Mrs. Queen, you're always in heels. You need to wear tennis shoes and things like that. And I said, ladies, I work for a company and I have to be presentable because I'm working with clients. And even most of the day, I am talking on the phone to them, but
Mm-hmm.
the way I dress, it comes through in the way that I communicate with my
Mm-hmm.
clients.
Mm-hmm.
So if I feel confident, then my
Mm-hmm.
voice carries confidence. If
Mm-hmm.
I feel relaxed
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in a t-shirt and jeans, I'm not coming across as professional.
Right.
And my clients lose their respect for me, or they don't feel that I can handle their accounts to the way that they want it to be handled. So I dress
Mm-hmm.
to do my job, to build
Mm-hmm.
my confidence up. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to wear anything low cut. to look professional. I don't need to show off any parts of my body that I don't want anybody else to see, because this is a form of confidence.
Well, not only that, but, and you know, I do a lot of t-shirts, jeans, t-shirts, khakis. I'll pull a polo once in a while. And it's like, you can see the progression. But granted, you know, I'm getting ready to meet with my stylist next month, and we'll be looking at things. But at the same time, there is a difference in the way people are treated by how they dress. And this happened, I think, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, because we done errands yesterday and all that fun crap. So I ran out. I'm in like shorts because it's 55 degrees, and I've got decent shorts and a t-shirt on. I could have gone to church if I wanted to. And I ran into one of my dad's old friends, and you would have thought that I was wearing short shorts, hoodie wear shorts, and a tank top, the way he talked to me. And he was like, "Oh, you're so crazy." And granted, it's 55 degrees, about 20 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
You know, whatever you think your moderately warm temperature is. And I'm like, comfortable shopping. And how are you? Oh my God, you're in shorts, and you know, you're going to catch the death of cold, and yada, yada, yada. Okay. And he's a loudmouth. I mean, you can hear him. Like, I could hear him through the whole store. So on down the aisle was one of the ladies that I knew. And, you know, I'm shopping, and he passes me after he dresses me down. Walks up to her. She just came from church. I could tell she came from church.
Okay.
"Oh, you look so nice, blah, blah, blah. It was so good to see you earlier, yada, yada, yada." And I looked at her skirt. Her skirt hit the same spot on my shorts. She was wearing a silk blouse. My t-shirt was thicker. And I'm like, make this make sense.
Nothing is making sense anymore. Haven't you realized that yet?
Oh, I have. Now, you know, but the important part, and you brought it up there on the lesson you were trying to teach the kids, is it matters how you dress. It matters how you put yourself together.
Yes.
It matters where you're at with things. It matters what you feel comfortable in. Now, granted, I can be a wonderful damn reader in a bikini and a shirt. The same reader I can be in my $500 suit. It's the impression you put in yourself. I'm the same pain in the ass in a meeting in a polo in a t-shirt as I am in a suit. But I promise you, you don't want a meeting with me in that suit, because you know I've come for blood.
I was just thinking, would I want to meet with you in the bikini top? You know, I think if there was any message that I would want to give to people, especially about going into 2025, I think the thing I would encourage them to do is to reach down deep inside of them to open themselves up to new opportunities and changes, rather than walking into that wall of changes and knocking yourself out.
I think mine is find a word. Just find a word, one word. Put it everywhere you need to see it. Example, mine next year is excitement. If it doesn't excite me, it's gone. If it doesn't excite me, I'm not doing it. If it doesn't excite me, does this excite me? Nope, not today.
But don't you think that people have to build up to that one word? Because they're struggling with the changes that are happening right now. Finding that one word.
What's that word? And what's that word mean to you? And then they can go, okay, what habits get me to that word?
I think
and here's why is working the trip back is like working a trip backwards.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, if you're going home, where are you going?
home.
I know, but when you come to the U.S., where do you fly into?
The airport, usually in Baltimore.
Okay, so what is it? Jaeger? No, it's not. Let's say you fly into JFK. You're going
Okay.
to a meeting in New York, so your end goal is to get to JFK.
Okay.
Okay, you plan your trip backwards often. Okay, what time do I want to be there?
Okay. I usually
Uh-huh.
enjoy getting there in the afternoon, say after 5 o'clock.
Okay, so you like being there after 5. Okay.
Yes, because it works out well for me. If I leave here early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
then I get there the same day that I left.
Right. Now, all right, so I know not normally, if you're going budget, do you get a direct flight to JFK
Right.
from Germany? So where do you
Yes.
stop over at?
I don't. If I'm going to JFK, you can get a direct flight from Berlin to JFK.
Okay. So that's
If
an easy goal.
yes.
Okay. But, if I'm flying to you, I'm going to have to leave here, go to Atlanta, go from Atlanta to JFK, JFK to London, London to Berlin.
But that's a long way around. Why
Yeah,
not
it is a
take the
long
train
running
to New
away.
York?
Right. Well, one, because there isn't a train for me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm in
I'm sorry.
Podunkville, West Virginia.
You,
Like, I have no problem telling the people on the air, but I'll make you mad by how I have to explain it. But if you take the palm of your hand and point
uh-huh.
to the line on your wrist, that's where I am in West Virginia. The closest airport's 2 hours away that we want to call
Okay.
an airport. So
Okay.
anyway, so that's like a complicated goal. Like, you know, so when you know your end destination, you know when you want to arrive at that destination, you work your way backwards. So excitement is my word. So how do I work my way backwards in my health? Well, that's changing my workout routine. That's changing my food. That's changing this. That's changing that. Then you even take it smaller, like, okay, if you're coming home in the summer, how many suitcases you bringing? What
Um,
clothes you packing? That type of thing.
well, I mean, I've worked through those things
Uh-huh.
because I figured that, hey, when I want to go home,
Mm-hmm.
it's cumbersome for me to
Mm-hmm.
take so many suitcases. With
Mm-hmm.
if I'm going to be there for 3 or 4 weeks, I need at least 2 weeks of clothes because I
Mm-hmm.
can wash and everything while I'm there. So I've worked through those things where I can leave clothes there.
Uh-huh.
And so I can pack a backpack and get on the airplane and stay for a month,
Mm-hmm.
leave those clothes there, and come home and have clothes here.
Right. But what I'm saying about that, like,
But
but those little pieces are those little steps to any goal.
right. And those were things that I worked through. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
start off with
Right.
figuring out, hey, I'm coming back, so why not leave clothes here? Or,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to have to carry a hairdryer or because I stay with family members. All of my necessities are there. So
Mm-hmm.
it took me a couple of years to figure
Mm-hmm.
out, hey, I don't need to pack so much. If I can stay longer and I can
Right.
make the things that make traveling difficult easier.
Mm-hmm.
But it was repetitive. It was doing
Mm-hmm.
these things over and over again, figuring out what changes I needed to make.
Right. And what pieces you need to break apart. And those are the things you have to do when you're setting those out. So set your destination of where you want to be at, then back work it like you're back working a trip.
Okay, I understand that goal now,
Yeah.
but I think that there's a few more steps involved in there,
Okay.
like with me having to figure out over a period of time, hey, why am I doing this same thing? I can change this, and this. And
right, but you change one piece at a time, one habit at a time. Example,
correct.
if you want to lose weight, great. So we're not going to diet because that equals destination deterrent.
Right.
We're going to make it a goal that our plate is 75% vegetables.
Or use a smaller plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, those are good things, but it goes back to our first comment that don't set so many goals
right.
that you overwhelm yourself with trying to hit all of those benchmarks. Focus on one goal that you really want to achieve right now, and then go on from there. Take those steps. Yeah.
All right. So what's your clients looking at to get you this week? When you work?
Well, literally this week, I am not doing very much because the developers are working on most of the things. My goal is by the end of this week to have a schedule set up so that I can work with my coaches on the launch of our platform, of our new platform.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
My schedule this week is I'm sticking to Vampiro, meaning I am on night shift for my East Coast, through Hawaii time zones, Taiwan's. I'm on in your morning hours. Australians, I'm on as soon as you get home from work. You can find me.
Cool.
My German Uzbekistan through the Europes, I'm on in your early morning hours.
Super, because we need you when we first wake up.
Yes.
Well, it was great working with you. I'm going to miss this.
Well, honey, we'll be taking some days off, and you can fill in here and there. We just have to make sure it's not when you're sleeping, because we can't have a sleeping astral projecting Maya here.
I would truly appreciate that.
I know. All right,
that is one of my goals for the New Year's, to sleep a little bit more.
Now, granted, you're going to be back on this channel, and we're going to be on your channel too for the launch party. So, guys, be sure to tune into that day, because I'm going to be having them all here.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to seeing everybody.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.